Doesn't that explain what homesick is? That's where home makes you sick. Haven't you ever gone home and you feel like that same dumb person that they thought you were back then? You haven't felt like that for a long time, and all of a sudden there it all is, and the smells and the... We're exaggerating, not at all. We may be channeling Taylor Swift. Haters gotta hate, 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 hate. Haters gotta hate, 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 hate. And you just gotta shake it off. Shake it off.
Thank
you. Because you cannot please them. You can't understand. The only thing that you can do is to come in alignment with your source. And when you do, the return to that steady, consistent love. See, the thing about relatives is that you got to catch them on a good day. You are a vibrational being first and foremost. It's a lovely thing when doctors are forced to acknowledge that. What more would you like us to say?
So when my dad passed away, I helped take care of him the last 9 months of his life. And I was in a cemetery just biking down and feeling really close to him. And a friend of mine walked away. I said, let me just have a moment. I want to kind of have a moment. So I was actually talking with him. And at that moment, there was something wet on my leg. And I looked down, and there's this little black poodle. And he's just sitting there licking my leg and looking up at me. And I'm petting him and saying, hi, how are you? And, you know, it was a nice interaction. And then from across the graveyard, this woman says, Augie, come here, please. Come here, Augie, leave the man alone. And that was my father's name. It's not like Bozo or Bob or... And I'm like, oh my God. And so I walked over.
Our work here is done. In other words, with what precision can the universe deliver to you demonstrations of,
It gets better. So I walk over to this woman, and we had this interaction. I found out that her son had died on the same day as my father. He had committed suicide, and they got this dog for the young boys that were left behind and named him Augie after the month. So we have this moment, and blah, blah, blah. 10 years later, which was last week, I'm in a coffee stand sitting there, and another little black poodle comes up and sits at my feet outside. And I'm like, oh my God, hello. And I'm petting him, and I turned to my friend, I said, would this be weird if his name is Augie? And I took his tag and looked at it, and it was my father's nickname he grew up with. They didn't even call him Augie, it was Junior. And this little dog, same little black kind of poodle, is looking at me, and I'm just having this incredible moment. And so I guess my question around this is,
Really? You have a question?
So I guess the answer is they come through to let you know something.
Yeah, and your dad would like you to know he doesn't really hang out at the graveyard.
It's good.
So sometimes it feels like you don't really have a hands-on purpose in expanding the universe, because if you're sitting and thinking, okay, I am an expander of the universe, what direction should I take it? What important expansion? Science, well, I don't have too much background in that. Genetic, I don't really have too much understanding in that. Not a very good comic. Mathematics, no. So it works like this. As we talk about this vortex of creation, must be annoying. It just has to be to someone who is really reality-based. You go home and you say to your friends, yeah, I don't know. We learned not to face reality. That's worrisome. And then we were pointed over here at the floor. And we are told that there is a vortex of creation that includes everything we want, but we can't see it. It was a little like smoke and mirrors. And then we were told that if we would feel for it, because we can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it, if we would feel for it, we would feel better. And that when we feel better, then it would come. So you've worried, you've fussed, money is slow and seeming to get slower, and now you're beyond worried, you're fearful. And now you're determined that you're going to do something about it. And you've heard that Abraham, that's us, has written brilliant, 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 brilliant affirmation cards. It's true. It's true. This is the best combination of words to attract money that has ever been put together in human experience. We are very proud of these cards. So you're standing outside your vortex, worried, and determined to do something about it. So you pick up these brilliant cards and you look for empowerment within them. So you look through them and look through them. My life is as good as I allow it to be. I am always receiving the essence of what I am giving. You got to be kidding. I can follow the trails of good feeling thoughts. I can follow the trail of good feeling money, but I don't know about it. The story I tell is the basis of my life. I'm in deep doo-doo. I am the creator of my own life experience. These are not helpful cards. I can see my world through the eyes of Source. I would like to punch out the eyes of Source. I can deliberately choose to feel better now. There's not one good card here. There's not one good card here.
Thank you, Abraham. I so enjoy your daily emails. Puts me in a wonderful place. There's one that comes around about once a year.
There are 800 of them in that, and they come around randomly. Mm-hmm. They're dumped into something and randomly numbered, and then they come up.
Mm. This one, I have some questions about it.
This seminar would put another 800 in.
And it goes, the thinker thinks a thought, and then the thought thinks, becoming a thinker. And then the thought that was a thought that is now a thinker thinks another thought, which becomes a thinker also.
That's just ridiculous, isn't it? We must have been drunk.
Since I was last sitting before you, Esther, and with you, Abraham.
They call us Abrahamster. Or Estherham. Or Abester.